First of all, welcome to Quality Thought. My name is Nani. I have total 13 years of experience in IT. So mostly in these 13 years, I'm working in manual testing and API testing and API automation on that. So in entire my career, almost 8+ years into API testing and API automation only I worked for. So after that, I started my teaching career in 2017 in mid of August, I think. Okay, so far I have trained 87 batches and I have deployed a lot of students into various companies as well on web services testing. So most of the people are know about testing means, so they know manual testing, they know automation testing, Selenium, they know database testing and ETL testing. These are the areas only they know about testing market and testing job opportunities. Yes, somewhere there is some performance testing, JMeter or load runner. There are other tools are available for that. But very few are know, but most of the people are don't aware of this web services market, because web services providing a lot of opportunities at this moment. Okay, so what is web services? Why web services? What is this web server testing? Why we are doing this web server testing? This is very important. Why means the student is always I know there are two types of students are available. A student who's a students who good into the coding side or good into non-coding side. There are two persons are there who is interested into coding, who is not interested into the coding side, because there are some fear into the coding side. So such kind of students can't go through manual. Only manual is not enough. Okay, so then he has to choose the automation testing, Selenium. Selenium is related to JavaScript, so there is a coding is there. So the alternative of this, that non-coding testing comes under web services. So apart from manual, the web services providing a lot of opportunities into the market, because people are not aware of this web services market. They strictly on you manual automation. This combination only they are checking. Somewhere who knows the market, they're opting for ETL testing. Somewhere they can opting for JMeter or performance side. So this is about the web services side. Okay, so in this to avoid this kind of things, okay, we have this good opportunity, that is a web services. Okay, so this web services at the moment it creating a lot of opportunities. If you check any recruitment, manual API is compulsory. API is a compulsory for every profile. If you have automation, that would be an added advantage for you. Okay, so going forward, the entire market is directly related to API. API should be in your resume. It's a compulsory, it's a mandatory item in your career about the web services. That is you are learning today. So web services, okay, so this web services is nothing but it is a communication. It is a communication between the applications. Web service is nothing but communication between the applications. So when there are the different applications wants to communicate with each other, web services are playing a vital role into that. So why we need a communication? For data transfer, for data sharing. For suppose earlier stage, some applications are working as independently. Okay, so every application is working as its own business. Independently, they worked on it. But nowadays, every application is depending on the another application to provide a better service to the end user. For suppose, I discussed many times in the classes, like, so if I want to purchase a movie ticket or a bus ticket or a flight ticket, or if I want to pay any bills, earlier days, it was a manual process. You all are aware of that. After that, they introduced the online systems. Online system is every vendor has their own website. So using their own website, okay, so they enable these transactions. For example, Air India has its own website, Indigo has its own website, and Vistara is their own website. Likewise, so everybody has their own websites. So if user wants to purchase anything from that websites, they have to log into that respective website and they can purchase it. So for suppose, if I want to purchase a movie, a bus ticket or something, okay, so something, if I want to purchase it, see, I have to log into one system first. After that, one system. For example, I logged into Air India. Air India don't have tickets. Now I go to Vistara. After that, I log into Indigo. After that, I log into some other airlines. So what happened that for one transaction, I'm logging into different websites. So it taking a lot of time. So the same operation, it requires multiple logins and multiple access of the different websites. To avoid that, they introduced a communication between this application. So what was the problem here? Communication. There is no communication here. So that what they're doing that they are implementing a communication. Like they designed a application. This application is going to connect the all the other applications. See, likewise, these are the applications are available. So likewise, when you connect this will be splitting. So this is my Go IVO. This is my Air India, Vistara, and Go IVO. So likewise, one application is going to communicate with the different applications. Not two, different applications or many applications. This communication is called web services. With the help of web services only, nowadays the entire market is working. All transactions are working. So the web services are available in everywhere. Okay, not only in e-commerce, not only this travel domain, everywhere. For example, if you want to purchase a bus ticket, you have a GoIbibo, Abibus, Redbus. And for example, if you want to purchase a movie ticket, so that movie ticket also purchasing through Book My Show app. So likewise, one application is going to connect with other applications. The best example is Paytm. The best example is Paytm. If you want to pay your electricity bill through Paytm, the Paytm is going to connect with the TSS PDCL. If you want to purchasing a book a refill of your gas cylinder, your Paytm is going to connect with the HP server or Bharat Gas, Indian Gas. Likewise, so whenever two different applications wants to communicate with each other, that can be possible by the web services. So these web services are helping a lot for this at the moment in the market for end users. Not, for example, there are a lot of things. Morning you wake up and eating a food through Zomato or Swiggy. That is also through web services. You are using Ola rides and Rapido rides. That is also possible through web services. Okay, so you are purchasing any items from the different stores. That is also through web services. Your movie tickets, flight tickets, bus tickets, what not. Everything can be possible through web services. Nowadays, the entire applications are building with web services. Earlier days, how they design the applications are, okay, so one application, if they design, one application is there, okay, so one application is there. So if they want to design the application, they design the front end, they design that back end, everything they designed it. Later they complete. But nowadays, not like that. Every application is split into different microservices. Okay, so different microservices was they splitted the application and they combined it. So likewise, it is very easy to maintain. Understand? So this is about the web services. These web services are comes under middleware. This is comes under middleware. Okay, so this is comes under middleware. Middleware is nothing but neither front end nor back end. Likewise, so for every application, if you observe that this is my front end. Okay, so now this is the back end. Okay, so if this is the front end and this is the back end. So in between the web services are there. Okay, so likewise, this application is going to communicate. So this is where the web services that they're keeping into the middle of the applications. Okay, so this is what your front end. Front end means graphical user interface. For example, this is your Redbox application. This is your Orange Travel server. Okay, so these are web services. Web services are placed. Okay, web services are placed in middle of the applications. Okay, so that's what it is, a middleware testing, because web server development is there. Now web services testing is there. So we are the web services testers. So this is the Redbox application, and this is the middleware, and this is the backend. A backend can be a server or a database or anything. Okay, so that is why web services comes under the middleware services. Okay, so these web services are differentiated into two types. One is SOAP service, second one is REST service. Okay, so by the characteristics, SOAP is a simple object access protocol, and REST stands for representational state transfer architecture. So we have two types of services are there. One is SOAP service, second one is REST services. So when there is a communication between the applications, when there is a communication between the applications, that communication that differentiate into two types. Okay, so one is SOAP service, second one is REST service. Okay, so SOAP service. In between there is a message channels or communication channels. Okay, so what are the message channels are available? For example, I'm telling you that there is a communication. I'm telling you the communication between the application. For example, this is my Paytm application. Okay, in this Paytm, you are paying your electricity bill. So that is TSS PDCL. Okay, TSS PDCL. So when you send the request, you will get the response back. Okay, this is called communication, right? So what is a communication? What is a communication? It is the exchanging the data between the applications. Okay, this exchanging the data between the applications, there must be a communication type. So that communication type is SOAP using XML language. SOAP using XML language. XML stands for extensible markup language, where REST using JSON language. Okay, so Java script objective notation. Okay, there are two different types of formats are there. Okay, SOAP using XML and Rest using JSON. That means when a sender sends the request to the other application, the data will be traveling into XML format, where if it is a SOAP, if the same is another application is communicating with other applications, if the data is traveling in JSON format, okay, then it is a REST service. That is the only difference between SOAP and REST. Okay, so there is a differences between SOAP and REST is there. This is the main difference between SOAP and REST is SOAP using XML, REST using JSON. Okay, so the main differences between SOAP and REST. SOAP, it is a protocol. It is a protocol. It supports only XML. Okay, so XML have schema. Due to this schema, SOAP services are weighted services, and SOAP consumes more data and bandwidth, and SOAP services are secured. Coming to REST. REST, it is a architecture. It is a architecture. It supports JSON. Also, it supports XML, text, HTML, language also it can support. Okay, so the REST services are low weight. REST services need low bandwidth and consume less data. And SOAP services are secured. But SOAP is more secure. Is REST here? So there is a slight differences between SOAP and REST. Okay, so both are doing same business. Okay, both are using for enable the communication between the applications. But SOAP is a protocol. So when there is a web services concept is introduced, SOAP services are begin first. After they using the SOAP services for several years, they identified some challenges from the SOAP services. The one is that SOAP is a protocol. So to designing a SOAP services, it is a headache for the developers because they has to follow many protocols, rules and guidelines to design the communication. So the SOAP communication contains some envelope, header, body section. There are some formats. They have to follow this protocol, and it supports only XML. It supports only XML. So this XML due to this XML, the SOAP services have become weighted. Why? Because XML contains schema. XML contains schema. So when you send a request in a SOAP service, simply, okay, when you send a request in a SOAP service, see, this is a communication, right? You are not only sending a XML, you need to send the schema. Why? Because XML contains schema by defaultly. So, so when you send enable the communication like this, okay, you are sending, normally we are sending XML data, okay, but here what you are sending schema as well. So you are sending XML and schema both together. So that's what SOAP services are weighted. Due to the weight, it consumes more data and more value. And SOAP services are secured because of the XML and schema. Okay, after they used the SOAP services several years, okay, these are the problems they identified. Some advantages are there, some challenges are also there. So to avoid that, they introduced the REST services. In the REST services, it is a architectural style, it's not a protocol style. So this support the REST supports JSON. Why SOAP is failing? No, it's not failed. Why SOAP has disadvantage? Because of the XML. Okay, because of the XML, the SOAP services are very slow. Because of that, the more bandwidth is there. To avoid that, they choose the JSON data. So there is a first to overcome is there. And the next one is that REST services are low weighted. Because of that, JSON, it doesn't have schema or it has less schema. It is a low weighted. And REST services needs less bandwidth and consumes less data. But REST services are secure, but comparatively REST, SOAP services are more secure. So this is the differences between SOAP and REST. Remember, REST is a alternative of the SOAP, but not replacement. Hope you got my point. So still SOAP is using somewhere and they are using the REST services also. Both are doing the same business. For example, GoAbibo using SOAP and Abibus using REST. There is no differences in similar in the business. Business-wise, both are okay. You are purchasing the tickets, they are booking, they reserve your seats in your respect to travel. That's it. But they are using XML. Here they are using the JSON. They are using SOAP. SOAP using SOAP contains only XML. But here they are using REST. REST they are using JSON. The only formats are different and little process is different. But coming to the and business wise, both are doing the same. So where they want to more secure, they can go for SOAP service. Where they want more speed, and they can come to REST services. Okay, so both are doing good business at the moment in the market, web services wide. Okay, so these REST services also called as REST services, also called as APIs. Okay, REST service is also called as API. So REST testing, API testing, both are same. Okay, so the only difference is that SOAP and REST. Nowadays, the market is very huge into this REST testing. Because of that, why the web services became very familiar right now? Because of earlier stage, there is no, I told you already in the beginning of the class, there is no much communications between the applications earlier stage. But now there are a lot of communication was implemented between the any application. If you go to any kind of application, even you don't have a login, you can sign in through Google as well. That is also web services. Okay, so every application nowadays built with web services, they're running with web services. That's what they want, web services testers. Okay, web services development is there, web services testing is there. So web services testing ante there are two things will come. The first one is SOAP testing or REST testing. SOAP testing and REST testing. Anything is important. Sir, which is more priority? SOAP testing or REST testing? I say REST testing. REST testing is very huge demand when compared to SOAP testing. But if you learn one thing, you can learn automatically second one as well. Because of the both are doing same. The only where is the difference? The format. There is XML, here is the JSON. That's it. Yeah, I have seen a couple of people have raised their hands. So yeah, please ask me your questions.
Is SoapUI considered as API?
Let me clarify that. Sorry about that. Okay, so REST. So REST is called as API, and also SOAP also called as API. It's no worries if you call as a SOAP API and REST API, but there is a difference. SOAP is a protocol. Every SOAP is also a REST, but REST is not a SOAP. Okay, so SOAP APIs can be act as REST APIs, but REST APIs cannot be a SOAP API because a protocol can be an architecture, but architecture cannot be a protocol. So we can call it as a SOAP as API, not a problem. REST API, not a problem. But SOAP API, every SOAP services can be a REST services, but REST services cannot be a SOAP services because there is a protocol issue is there. Okay, so coming to the tools, what are the tools are available for this SOAP? For SOAP testing, we have SoapUI, and there is a Parasoft, and there is a CA Lisa, and IBM RI, Rational Integration Tester. There are many tools are there, but these four are very famous for SOAP testing. For coming to REST testing, we have Postman, we have REST client, we have advanced REST client, and we have Swagger, we have Fiddler, we have SoapUI. There are many tools are there. For REST testing, we have many tools, but I wrote only few tools here. Okay, for REST testing, there are many tools are available for REST testing. For SOAP testing, we have SoapUI, Parasoft, CA Lisa, IBM RIT. So if you observe that SoapUI is the tool, it's a common tool where you can do the SOAP testing and REST testing. Both you can do that. Okay, so many people are confusing somewhere like SOAP and SoapUI. Both are not same. SOAP is a web service. To test that, we are using the tool name SoapUI. Remember, SoapUI is the tool name. SOAP is the service. Okay, so sometimes you can do this. I told you that's what. And how they can think that so SOAP is common, so that's what they both are saying. No, SoapUI is a tool. Okay, so this tool is helping to test the SOAP service. The same way, the SoapUI tool, which can help us to test the REST services. Okay, so both are not same. So in this session, what we are going to learn, we are learning SOAP testing. We are learning SOAP testing in where SoapUI tool. SOAP testing in SoapUI tool. So what is I told you right? SOAP testing means it's a protocol. It's using only XML data. It is a protocol. It supports XML. Okay, it contains schema. These are all the things we have to learn here. Okay, so first of all, I want to discuss about SOAP tools. SoapUI tool. It is a product of, product from SmartBear. Okay, product of SmartBear. Okay, so SoapUI tool invented is long ago. Okay, this tool is available in two variants. One is SoapUI free, normally we called as open source, and SoapUI Pro, there's a licensed version. The name of the tool is Ready API. Okay, this is license tool. Okay, the name is Ready. Understand? SoapUI tool available in two variants. One is free, second one is pro. Free means free of cost, no need to pay any money. You can use happily. SoapUI Pro, you need to purchase the license from the SmartBear. So the tool name they change it to Ready API because to avoid the confusion, SoapUI free pro. So they avoid the confusion. SoapUI free means open source. Ready API means licensed tool. Licensed tool name is a Ready API. Is it clear? Okay. So what is the main difference? There are slight differences is there. So why, first of all, why SoapUI tool is very powerful in market? Because it's free of cost. SoapUI open source, you can do almost 80% testing, you can do that. Because it's open. No need to pay any license also. So that's what majority of the market is occupied by the SoapUI tool only. Yes, somewhere they're using Parasoft, somewhere they're using CLISA, somewhere they're using IBM RIT. Some XYZ tools are also there. Those are project related or project constrained only they can use it. They can't use it widely because the licensed tools. But SoapUI is not like that. Everybody can use it. Sorry, because it's a free of cost. Okay, if they want additional features, extensive support, they can go for Ready API. If you pay $1,000 or something, they can give you license. Okay, so why SoapUI tool means? Because of free of cost. 80% of the features are free. 20% features you need to pay for Ready API. Or else you can use the Groovy scripting. Okay, so what I'm saying that in SoapUI tool, in SoapUI free tool, 75%, I'm writing 75% features are free. 75% features are free. Okay, so remaining how much? 25%. The remaining 25% you can develop through Groovy scripting. If you come to Ready API, 100% features are available because you are paying, right? Features are available. Okay, zero coding. So coding is not required. Here somewhere coding is required. Why? Because see, 75% features are available. So 25% features are not given. Those you can implement through Groovy script. But here all features are available. So zero coding. Ready API is a zero coding. At least in SoapUI free, you can write some scripting somewhere. You may think 25% means use. No, the SoapUI, for example, according to me, SoapUI contains a 15 features are available. Okay, Ready API have like 25 features are available. How many differences there? 10 features are not there. 10 features, 10 programs. That's it. Here also program is very limited. No need to write a big scripts like Selenium. It's a basic scripts. If you write a script at once, you can reusable the same script. Forget about that. So just feel the difference. SoapUI tool available in two variants. One is free, second one is pro. Free tool is a free of cost, no need to pay any money. Ready API, you need to purchase the license. Difference is that the few features which are not available in SoapUI, which can be overcome through Groovy script. So there the Groovy script is little required. Okay, so see this SoapUI tool installation. SoapUI installation doesn't have big problems because it's very easy to install it. It doesn't need any pre-setup and anything. Simply, you can access the Google. Go to the Google. In that Google, type SoapUI, download. You can simply type it. Click on the link. See, Ready API is there, SoapUI, open source is there. Okay, so download SoapUI, open source. Simply download. Which one you want? For example, if you want Ready API, you can download Ready API as well. Okay. So once a exe file is downloaded, you can open that folder from the downloads. Okay, from the downloads, see, likewise, the SoapUI folder will come. So this is the way. You can simply right click and run as administration and click on next. That's it. SoapUI tool installation is like a VLC player installation in your laptop. That's it. Download that exe file, right click, run as administration, next. Wherever the I agree, I accept checkbox is there, select that and complete your installation. Same way Ready API as well. Because these tools are not recommending any pre-software installations. So no need to do that. So how you installing a VLC player, the same way you can install the SoapUI or Ready API tools. Okay, so once the tool is installed, then you need to discuss about it. I wrote here, right? Yeah, this is the point. Okay, so using the above URL, we can access the Ready API and SoapUI open source. So download the tool and install it. That's it. Nothing is there. Download the tool and install it. Clear, everybody? So it's a simple thing. Download and install. So SOAP testing process. Okay, so we'll learn what is web services. We see what is the difference between SOAP and REST. We see the what are the languages are required, and we have discussing the different tools for that. Now we have to learn how to start SOAP testing in your SoapUI tool. You have a SoapUI tool. You want to test SOAP testing. How to test that we need to discuss. Okay, so for SOAP testing in SoapUI tool, we need a file is visited. What is that? Visited. Visited and web services description languages. Web services description language. Okay. So when you want to testing a SOAP service, SOAP testing in SoapUI tool, what you want? You want visitor. Okay. So they will provide the visitor files. How to identify the visitor? How to identify the visitor? Visitors are always ends with WSDL name. Okay, these visitors will provide by the developers in the form of URL or file. Okay, it's a very simple topic. Okay, so to doing this SOAP testing, we want visitor. Visitor is web services description language. So these visitors are available. I will show you some visitors for sample visitors. Sorry. See, this is a visitor, or else what I told you. To doing the SOAP testing, what do you want? Visitor. So how to identify the visitor? Visitors are always ends with the WSDL name. So is these are visitors or not? Visitors. Visitors will provide by the developers in the form of URL or file. This a form is URL form. This is the URL form. The something they will give you file form. The same thing they can give you like a file. That is also ends with the WSDL. So what is visible contents? What is visible contents? Visible is a collection of SOAP services which are in XML format. A visible, this for saying it's a URL to you. Okay, but it's not a URL. Is it a it's like a URL, but actually it is a visitor because it ends with the WSDL. If you remove this WSDL, it's not a visitor, it's something else. Okay, so remember one point, visitors are always ends with WSDL. That's it. Okay, so these visitors, sometimes they're given in which format? URL format, or sometimes they can given in which format? File format. Even a file or URL, those must be ends with the WSDL. Okay, so this is how these visitors are available. Actually, what is business contains? See, I want to test the services, right? So these services, they are placing into this one visitor. Okay, I want to test these services. Those services are given into this. It is a collection of SOAP services, which are in which format? XML format. Okay, so that's the thing. So for any questions, please ask me. Meanwhile, I can take a visit. Will show you one execution. Please ask your questions. You also a visitor. So for doing the SOAP testing, you remember only one thing, WSDL is required. Without WSDL, there is no SOAP testing.
So
Okay.
WSDLs are provided by the developers.
Yes, they have.
Sir, all the SOAP APIs are ends with the WSDLs.
Don't confuse. To testing the SOAP services in SoapUI tool, we need WSDLs. అర్థమైందండి సోప్ టెస్టింగ్ ని SoapUI టూల్లో టెస్ట్ చేయాలంటే మనకు కావాల్సింది విజిటర్. ఓకే, those visitors are provided by the developers. These visitors are always ends with WSDL. That means yes, all SOAP APIs need WSDLs for testing. This is your question, right?
Yes, sir.
So without WSDLs, we can't start the testing process, right?
No. Without WSDL, there is no testing. Okay. So, yeah. Still any questions? So why WSDL? I will tell you. So why we are doing API testing? So see this. There is a front end. If you want to learn about, you need to go to some basics. Like we know architectures. We have 1-tier architecture, 2-tier architecture, 3-tier architecture. I'm just going to basics again. Okay, 1-tier architecture applications are single window applications where they don't need backend, only single window applications like calculator, MS Word. Okay, these are all comes under single window applications. Those are 1-tier architectures. 2-tier architectures are nothing but it has a client and server. Okay, so there is a client and there is a server. Okay, this is called 2-tier architecture. After that, we got a 3-tier architecture or called as a n-tier architecture. So this is one layer, this is the another layer, this is the final layer. This layer is called presentation layer. Which layer? Presentation layer. This is called business layer or logical layer, and this is database layer. See the difference? Okay, this is how it is. So without this and this become a 2-tier architecture. But what they did, they included the middleware into here. So this is front end. Front end means your GUI. Okay, this is your GUI. This is your back end. Backend means a database or a server or a application. In that middle, this is called web services, either SOAP or REST. Either SOAP or REST. So this is the middleware applications. So every front end, see this. This is two-tier architecture. Okay. In two-tier architecture, everything is designed at only one place. The entire coding, logics, and everything, they placed it only at one place. So if you want to debugging, if you want to modify the features, if you want to update the features, delete the features, okay, you need to append the code or delete the code and modify the code a lot. Where in two-tier architecture, okay, if so for example, I want to delete some feature in middle of that execution. So there are a lot of lines you need to change it. So there is a showstoppers are there, blockers are there. To avoid that, what they will do that, they introduce the middleware. They introduce the middleware, and there is a front end and there is a back end. Okay, so here for every front end action, there is a web services into that middleware. See the logic. This is not web service. When you click like this, for example, these are all services: sign in, sign up, search, add item, payment gateway, buy now, everything. So in the front end, what action you performing it, the associate web services will call and the data will be sent to the server. For example, it can be a SOAP or REST. If it is a SOAP, these services in which format? XML format. If it is a REST services, these are in which format? JSON. Okay, these web services are running in the middle of the application. From today onwards, your way of thinking should be different when you are executing any Flipkart or Amazon or some other applications. You are just clicking application. For suppose, say this. Okay. Red bus. Okay, from that red bus, Hyderabad, Bangalore, date of journey is 80. I'm click on search. I'm click on search. This is my front end. Whenever I'm clicking on the search, just imagine there is a service in the middle of the application. See, this is my red bus. In the middle, I told you there is a web services. There is a server. Okay, so you enter source, destination, date of journey, and submit. Then this data will hit the server. Here the search bus service is there. It go to that all the travelers. Understand? So for every front-end action, there is a middleware. For every front-end action, there is a middleware. So what is the advantage, sir, when compared to two-tier architecture and three-tier architecture? In two-tier architecture, the code and the debugging and everything should be difficult. It's difficult. But here, it's not much difficult because they're splitting into small pieces of code. That is called a microservices. See, this is a microservice. If something is not working, they can take it out, they can rectify the issue, they can send it out without touching any other part of the application. But in two-tier architecture, if you want to change anything, there has to be checked lines of code and thousands of lines they need to debug it. But in three-tier architecture, they split it into these small services. For example, suddenly sign up is not working. They can take it out, they can check the issue, they can fix it. This is the advantage in the web services. SOAP or REST beside it. Otherwise, important in we need to check the web services point of view. Understand? So the web service advantage early testing is possible. Because see, there is no UI is required. For something is working or not, there is no need to go to UI. Even though you're testing from UI, that comes to web services, from web services it will go to server. So directly I can test from the server. I mean web server. Right? I can take some service, I can check in from here on. So that kind of testing we are learning in web services. So that's what we are a middleware testers. We are a middleware testers where we don't know what is front end, where we don't know what is back end. Okay, so for every application, there are a lot of web services. Okay, those services they're given in visitors. Okay, so what we can test: sign in, sign up, search, add items, get items. Okay. Likewise, we are testing the different services. As part of the web server tester, you need to test the middleware properly. As part of front-end tester, you need to check the UI properly. Both are same. UI testing have user interface. API testing or middleware testing or SOAP testing don't have user interface. That's the main differences. Remaining everything is same. There is a UI screen is there. Here the XML data is there. You need to test it. There also you need to pass the input data. Here also you need to pass the input data. So this is how we need to test that. And I will show you. See, SOAP testing, I installed the SoapUI tool already. So open your SoapUI tool. Initially, yes, there is a little confuse is there, but when you practice a couple of times, okay, so this much of easy tool you never seen anywhere in your life. I think this is very friendly, user friendly tool. Okay, so some when you starting, there is some definitely the issues are there. Okay, so delete all the things. So this is your workspace. This is your workspace. See, I told you already. This is SoapUI, free to learn, open source. What is the tool? Open source or free tool? Sorry, is the licensed version or open tool? Open. Can SoapUI supports REST testing?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? Yes. I told you SOAP is there. So don't do such kind of matchings. Okay. SoapUI is a tool. The tool can support SOAP testing, REST test. You can do both. For doing the SOAP testing, what you want? For doing the SOAP testing, what you want?
Digital file.
Visible. Okay. So you must have visitor file. So take the visitor. Okay, so you are doing SOAP testing, right? You can directly click on the SOAP. See, it is asking the visitor. Or else you can right click and new SOAP project. That is also fine. Or right click, new SOAP project. Anyway, there are three ways are there. Anyway, you are going to create it. Okay, so say this. I'm following SOAP. See, initially it is asking what? Visitor. So that's why it's mandatory. Okay, so there is a browser option also they given. Why? They given browser option as well. Because of that, sometimes the visual files might be given in file format. So that's what they given this. Okay, so some calculation. Okay, so likewise, we have two services are there, add service and subtract services. So these are not real example, but I will show you some basics. Okay, so how many services they keep in the WSDL? Two services. A WSDL have capable of holding n number of services, sometimes 10, 20, 30, 100 services also you can keep in a one WSDL. Okay, our objective is to test the WSDL. So just this is add, right? You can imagine it's a sign up. Okay, so these services we need to test it. So to test that, we need to follow the framework. SoapUI process. What is SoapUI process? First, import the WSDL and create the project. Import the WSDL and create the project. So then verify the number of services are into the WSDL. You check it, right? How many are there? Two services. For example, I can take this football WSDL. Okay, I have copied this and I click new soap project. I pasted it. Some football. See how many services are there? Did you see this? More than 20 services. I told you, right? A WSDL might contains number of services. Sometimes the developer might be configured to 20, 200 as well. Out of which what you need to test, those are only you have to be testing it. So to testing, you need to create a framework. Okay. Create test suite. Under that, create test case. Okay, so to avoid the confusion, I'm taking this. Okay, so what we are doing to test these soap services, we want to import the WSDL. That's completed. Now I want to test the services which are into that WSDL. So you need to create the project. Okay, so project, this is called project. Now I'm creating test suite. Test suite is creating from the project. Under the test suite, I'm creating the test case. Okay, so see here we have 3 steps are there. Test steps, load, security. SoapUI can do the functional, performance, security. Web services functional, web services performance, web services security. But we are doing the web services functional. So right click on it, select soap request. Which service you are going to test? Add test. So select on OK. Select the add service, click on OK and click on OK. So this is the SOAP XML. Now coming to here. Here you need to learn something, some basics. Okay, so SOAP testing documentation. SOAP testing documentation and SOAP services format. Request XML and response XML. Request XML contains envelope, header, and body. Response XML contains envelope, body, and font. This is called protocol. Protocol means SOAP services format is a protocol. Request XML should contains 3 sections: envelope, header, body. Response XML should contains envelope, body, and font. 3 sections should be there into your XML. That's the first protocol. For SOAP testing documentation, to test the SOAP services, you need to follow some guidelines, right? Some documents they will give you. So first of all, I will tell you, see, this is the SOAP XML format. Okay, if you observe that there are 3 sections are there. One is envelope, second one is header, third one is body. Is there or not? If these 3 are available, then only it's a SOAP. Okay, SOAP XML. Okay, envelope, is there or not? Header and main body only we have to focus, because the body only we need to check it. Envelope will tell you the beginning of the XML. It states that yes, this is the starting point of your XML. Headers are using for the authentication purpose. To avoid the 401 errors or unauthorized access, we need to pass the headers. Body, the main data we need to set it. Okay, so so to testing that, developers will give you a ad testing guidelines. Okay, some guidelines they will give you like this. Okay, so what they will tell you that they will not add all the things. Okay, so this is what we are going to test, right? So here they can mention TEM-A is mandatory, accepting only numbers, length some 10. Okay, first of all, A is a mandatory, it's a mandatory one. It accepting which data type? Numbers, and it's a length. Likewise, TEM-B is mandatory. It accepts numbers, length maximum, and like this. Okay, so likewise they can give you. What is the meaning of that? So here, where is the question marks are there? There you need to pass the test data. Okay, if it is a UI screen, just imagine this is the sign in. This is username and password. Imagine like that. So in UI, your boxes are there, right? You're entering data. The same thing you're testing through web services. Here the data in XML format. You need to pass the data here, where the question marks are there. Okay, if we give the names data like this only, it can be executed. Now see this. I'm entering the 10. I'm sending the 23. I'm submitting. What happened? You get the result as 33. If you observe that, the response format, envelope, body, fault will not come. When you committing any mistakes, for example, here I'm entering only integers, but I'm sending some numeric data, string data, then you will get a fault. The error messages can be captured into the fault tag. Okay, so same like UI testing, but you are doing from middleware. Front end, you have a screen, graphical colors, boxes, like that. Look and feel is good. The same testing you are doing through web services. Here the data is in XML format. There you need to pass the test data like this. For giving the test data also, they will give you such kind of rules, like it's accepting integer. Okay. Likewise, for response also, they will give you like that. So some add result is mandatory, and it returns numbers, maximum length 10. So likewise, so for request side, you need to pass the test data. On the response side, you need to validate the test data. Okay, so when you enter it, it's a mandatory numbers 10 is the length. Mandatory numbers 10 is the length. What would be expected? Add result, there is a mandatory number will become with length 10. So this is the rule. Okay, if you're doing any negative testing, okay, deviating from here, you will get a fault tag. That's it. Okay, A and B are mandatory. What data you have to pass? Numbers. Maximum length 10. If you send like that, you will get a response, add result. Tag is mandatory. Which data should be displayed? Numbers. Length maximum 10. This is how the developer will give you the guidelines. Without guidelines, we cannot test it. Okay, results should be given by the developers. Specifications given by the developers. Sometimes test data also given by the developers. Everything given by the developers. What you can do? You can simply import the WSDL into your SoapUI tool. It is working as expected or defined by the developer or not. That's the only thing we need to do. For suppose here developer saying numbers. Unfortunately, here you are getting a numerics, strings. Then it can be issue. For suppose developer saying only numbers like integers, but you are sending a floating data. Now it cannot take it because it's saying integers. So instead of numbers, you can write as a integers. Understand? So what you will receive? You receive only integers. So likewise, developers will give you clear information in your documentation. This is called any name you can keep it. I can call it as a service documentation. In the service documentation, they clearly mention what is a request XML. Remember, in the request XML only you need to send the data. Okay. Here you need to send the data, submit the request, then you will get the response. You need to verify it or validate it. Okay. So if they respect, for example, if it is working fine, then this service is working. So you need to test it both ways, positive, negative. Both ways you need to test it. What is positive testing? According to the developer guidelines, when you pass the data, it is a positive testing. Deviating to this developers given specifications, if you are testing, there's a negative testing. Okay, so both are integers. Try to send float, strings. I'm telling you both are mandatory. So both are mandatory means I'm deleting the data. I'm submitting it. It should not accept. If it is accepted, it's an error. So this is a call web service. So just imagine this A is called as username, B is called a password. So you have to pass the valid data only, then submit it. Registration should be, sign-in should be happen here. How you can test a sign-in testing in your manual? Username and password, both are valid data, submit. Sign-in should be success. If any one is invalid, error message should be displayed. Yes or no? If you give invalid data, null data, special characters, other data. What happened? It threw error message, right? The same concept. The same testing you are doing 2 times in UI, in web services. Both areas you should be passed. Okay, in UI you have a screen, colors, boxes, buttons, and everything. Here you have a XML. The only difference is that's it. Testing processes. Okay, the entering the data and everything is the same. So this is how you can test the both positive and negative. Then you have to make sure the service should be working without any issues. Am I clear? Okay, so for example, I want to test a second service, subtraction. Right click, new soap service. So subtract testing. Okay, now I'm selecting the Is it a SOAP format XML or not? Is it a SOAP format XML or not? What is SOAP format XML? This is. Sorry. Is it a SOAP format XML or not? Yes. How?
Envelope, header, body.
Envelope, header, and body. So these 3 should be there. So it's a SOAP formatted XML. So where we need to pass the test data?
Body.
In the body. Where the question marks are there I need to pass the test data. So here what data I need to pass? As I told you already,
Integer.
integers. So 10 I'm sending, 3 and just now you got a response. Before that, whether the response is SOAP format or not. SOAP
Yes.
format or not.
Yes.
SOAP format only. Envelope, body is
Body.
fault. I told you when there is errors, the fault tag will be. Okay, so likewise you need to do the both positive testing and negative testing. This is a very basic thing. This is very basic execution. Just you submit the request, you just receive the response. So once you get the response, I told you, right? Developer will give you how the structure will come. They will give you the structure. They will tell you the tag name. They will tell you what data type will be displayed. What is is mandatory or not? Everything they were giving into this one document. According to the document only you need to compare it. Okay, you don't know the beauty of the website testing is that everything they're given by the developers and BAs. You can just test it. Okay, so everything they're given by the developers. You need to just test it. Compare it, match it. Okay, website testing is all about enter the test data into the request XML, submit the request, verify the response. That's it. Nothing is there. Okay? Clear? Yeah. Okay, guys, I am back. So likewise, you need to do this. Okay, I will show you one more visual, which is looks. Okay, some Flipkart. Retired. Okay, when I import it, see, if you see this example, you will get a better idea on this. Okay, so this is a Flipkart. I told you a return application. There is an add item to cart, add new item into inventory, get item by ID, get item by title, get items in cart, submit order, update items in cart. Okay, so if you understand this example perfectly, you will be the website tester. Just you know the difference. So you have front end, you have a middleware. So we are doing 2 types of testing: front end testing, middleware testing. Both are same. I'm telling both are same. But In manual testing, there's a screens, colors, buttons, fields is there. But with web server testing, the same thing you are doing with respect to XMLs. That's it. Okay, so I will show you one by one. So for doing this testing, you need to create a test suite. Under the test suite, you need to create a test case. Okay. Now, okay, now, first of all, I'm doing C. There are many services are there. We need to execute by order. Okay, first we need to add the items to the inventory in the database. Okay, after you adding it, then you can get them by ID or title. That means you are applying search bar, right? Search option in the front end. So that's it. Next, you are purchasing items, right? You are buying. That is add item to cart. After you add items, you are checking your cart before you proceed. That is get items in cart. Then update items in cart. If you want to update any items or deleting, adding, you can do items update. Finally, submit the order. Okay, so see this, how I'm executing. First one is add items into where? Inventory. Inventory database, I told you. So I'm selecting the add items. Okay, so got body. So this is the data. So I will tell you some example. There is a Flipkart, right? There is a Flipkart, right? In the Flipkart, if you want to purchase this C55 on March 21st, before they have to add it. Yes or no? Flipkart site, they need to add this phone first they into the website. Then only you can purchase. Yes or no? Without the adding, you can't purchase. That is called add item to inventory. Inventory means they adding into this database. Understand? Don't think add items inventory means add to cart. It's not add to cart. It's add to the database. Okay. So if you want to purchase C55 on March 21st, the Flipkart site people should add into this website. Then only you can purchase it. Okay. So this is how. When they're adding it, this is a book. This is a bookstore application. Okay. So they're adding into the books. The required XML like that. First, book ID 4455, book name, API testing, price 300 rupees, quantity 1000 books, author, DNR, description, API testing concepts, ISBN, some number, API 123, publication date. Publication date here it can be taken in YYY, DD, publisher, quantity. Created, right? So what happened? In the server, it created the API testing books. How many books they created? 1000 books with the price 300 rupees. Okay. So next, the same request data I'm using to create one more. Now, same ID you cannot use again. See, if you try to create one more time, it throw you error message. Already is there. Now I'm doing 4456. Okay. Now Web services testing. Price is 500. Quantity 1500 books. Remaining all same. I'm creating. Only ID should be different. Remaining all is okay. Okay. Now 4457 4457. Now this is manual testing. Next 4458. Automation testing. Okay. Now some Selenium testing concepts. So these number of books I have added into the cart. That means in website, I have added the items. If you want to purchase, what you can do now? You are doing the search. Yes or no? For example, Apple 14 mobiles you want to purchase. Okay, if you want to purchase it, before I need to add to the inventory. After I'm adding inventory only, you are applying the search. Yes or no? So get item like 14, Apple 14. You're receiving, right? Now you are selecting. So how we are doing from the web service? This is okay, right? This service is mainly using for creation. Next, I am using the next one. Get by title. Get by title. So get by title. Get by title like this. Okay, so in front end, whenever you enter like this and click on this search button, immediately this API will call in the backside. The data can be go like this. For example, I'm entering the testing. Testing. What will happen? All testing books will come. See? Apple. What happened? All Apple phones will come or not? See, I'm selecting only Apple. All Apple 14, 13, 11, everything will come. Apple 14. What happened? Only Apple 14 will come. The same way, here I'm setting API testing. What happened? Only API testing will come. Understand? So this is how it will work. I'm telling you that's what. For every front-end action, there is a middleware. You are simply entering on the front end, click on search. But in the behind of the application, there is a web search will call. So this is how it will go. Okay. The second one, get by ID. The next item is what? Get by ID. Get by ID. See? 4455. See? If I pass 55, is there? 4458. See, you can see here also. Okay, you can get through string or get by ID as well. Some KD 55 X 75K in model. Okay, what will come? Sony branded. So you can get the item by name, by item. The same thing. There are two types of services are there. You can retrieve the data by title, by ID. Title, you may get matching records. For example, if I enter testing, all testing books will come. But if I using this service, I am passing ID, only with respect to ID, only the books will come. Understand the difference? Okay, so the next one, you need to add item to cart. So add item to cart means what? You selecting the product, you're clicking on add to cart, right? From the front end, you're simply clicking on the cart. It is adding it to here in the cart. Okay, but how it is happening through web service? Add to cart. So whenever you are clicking on the cart, okay, the product ID, product name, quantity will adding into the cart. Okay, so every product has a unique ID, as you know. Okay, item ID. I want to purchase 4455 books. 2 books. Click on. Then what happened? It will add to the cart. Where it will add it? Add to the cart. The cart ID is created. See the cart. Then what happened? If you click on, if you verify this cart, okay, if you verify this cart, one item is added, right? Okay, what basis is it added? The ID of the product and the quantity. The same way, here the cart ID is created, but the first cart is added 4455 books. How many? 2 books. Okay, next, get items into the cart. I want to check the cart. Okay, so for that, get cart. So what is the cart ID? 1. So you need to pass the cart ID here. Then the cart information is displayed 4455. I have total 2 items are added. Now I want to update the cart. So update cart means what? You can manipulate that quantity, right? So I want to update the cart. So you need to select the cart ID 1, item ID, right? What is that? 4455. Earlier 2 books you purchased it, right? Now I'm making it 5. Run it. See, now 5 items. Now get cart again. Your cart is updated. Did or not? Okay. Now I make it 10 now. I make it 10. Now check the get cart. 10 items. What's the next? Submit the order. Order placement. Now proceed to checkout. Now submit. Submit order means you need to pass the cart. That's it. Your order is placed successfully. Order is success. Next, address selection, payment gateway, everything comes into the picture. So this is how it will be working. Hope you understand, right? So the front end actions, the same thing you are doing through middleware. Okay, so if both are working successfully, then they can integrate it and they can deliver it into that private. So that's the reason every application of it is having a middleware. Those middlewares we need to test it as part of this web services testing. Okay, this much easy. Okay, so this is the best example for you to understand about what API website testing we are doing that. So the front end I'm showing that the same front end actions you are doing through middleware. Okay, so here you have XMLs like this. There you need to pass the data. The same thing from UI, you need to enter the data into the fields. There is a fields, buttons, these there, but here you have a XML is there. Both you need to enter the test data. Okay, if you get by title, I show you. Okay, this is literally your search box. Okay, search box testing. How you can do search box testing? Go to here, you can enter the valid data like Apple. Apple will come. Okay, next TV will come. Okay, if I enter some alphabet, something, enter. Will you get it? No. The same thing you can do it from here. So your API testing is there, right? Now I can enter, okay, BB. Okay, so will you get it? No, no books title with BBB. Same thing, no data with some data. No? That's it. So how we are testing in the front end? The same way you can testing with the middleware as well. The only difference, there is a UI, here is the middleware. Through XML you need to test it. So this is the basic execution of the web services SOAP testing with the help of visitors. Understand? So they given the visitors. Okay, so these visitors, is it a visitor or not? Visitor or not? Visitor or not? Visitor. So, ela cheppu? It ends with WSD. So this visitor have how many services here? Totally 3, 5, 7 services. So likewise, for every service they will give you like that. You need to pass the test data and you can verify the response data. So this is about the web services testing in SoapUI. We are learning SOAP testing. We are learning the SOAP testing. Likewise, we have REST testing as well. That's the same process. Instead of XML, they were using the JSON data. Same thing. Same way, the data should be entered, test it, you will get the response, you need to verify it. Okay, so this is how you have to test the SOAP testing. REST. We are just beginning. Okay, we are not explored the SoapUI tool. There are a lot of features are there. Say there are some assertions, property. See, I want to, I'm implementing the chaining concept. So here I'm getting API testing, right? So this data I can pass here. So likewise, one output can become as an input of others. So these are all this kind of chainings we can do that. Data-driven testing, for example, I want to create multiple books and single instance, I want to add more books. Likewise, I need to pass the data. Likewise, I can test many things in the SoapUI tool. The SoapUI is a completely automation testing. Okay, so automation testing means it's not writing a JavaScript. Okay, many people are thinking that automation means writing a script. No, automation is something which is reducing the time and save the cost. That's it. Okay, so SoapUI tool itself is automation tool. Okay, so you can do a lot of automation with the help of SoapUI and Ready API and little Groovy scripting as well. Somewhere you can hear, sir, REST assured something you talking about. REST assured is nothing but without tool, when you are performing the testing is called REST assured. Okay, so I want to test some SOAP services testing. I have a SoapUI tool, but I'm not giving a tool. Then you can use Eclipse keyboard, Eclipse keypad. Then you can use the JavaScript. You can write a REST assured programs. REST assured is nothing but REST assured is also automation. SoapUI is also automation. SoapUI is a tool automation. REST assured is the programming automation. Okay, so to achieving our goal, we have. Okay, so there are a lot of things that the API testing automation అంటే చాలా మంది చాలా రకాలుగా అనుకుంటారు. కోడింగ్ ఉంటేనే automation, కోడింగ్ లేకపోతే automation కాదు అనుకుంటారు. Those are all the false statements. Okay, automation అంటే is reducing the time and save the cost. Remember it, not writing the code on Eclipse. Okay, SoapUI is a automation tool. It's a tool automation. Without a tool, something they want to test it, there you can write a rest assured script. That is also automation. This is also automation. There are two paths to achieve our goal. One is through tool, second one is through rest assured. Okay, many people thinking in the market like something you are writing Java program only automation, or else it's not. Other than that, it's not automation. It's a positive bet. For Selenium also, front-end Selenium. Okay, front-end automation, middleware automation. Remember that. Front-end manual, front-end automation, Selenium. Middleware manual, still here is the manual. After that, you are using SoapUI features, it is a automation. SoapUI is an automation tool, Ready API is automation tool. Without these two, I can execute the soap services through rest assured. This is also a automation. Same thing, Selenium is automation, and that one, Tosca. Tosca is automation.
Is Cypress also automation tools?
And
Cypress.
Cypress. Cypress also automation. Okay, so Tosca, in Tosca, you are now no need to write the coding. Understand? So according to you, if you're writing script only, automation means, but in Tosca, you're not writing a code. Understand? Writing a code is not automation. Remember? Okay, so to simplify the use case is called a automation. The automation can be through scripting or through tool. The only point you need to remember in the market. The same way, the web service also automation means SoapUI tool is there. SoapUI tool itself is automation tool. It can provide all kind of features are there. The same thing, rest assured also there. That is also automation. There you need to write a script. Here you don't need to write a script. Selenium you need to write a script. Tosca don't need to write a script. But both are automation. Okay, so this is all about this web services and SOAP testing. Okay, so today we discussed about the overall recap of the class is that what is web services, types of web services, what are the communication channels, differences between SOAP and REST, what are the tools that are available, what is SOAP testing, what is WSDL, what is WSDL contains, what is SOAP XML format, how to test the WSDL, how to import in SoapUI tool, how to create a project, test case, and all. This is what we learn. Very basics we can learn. The extension of this today class we can discuss tomorrow.